everyone. Welcome inside the Red Earth Production Studios for this edition of YBMcast, powered by Game 7 Baseball, game7baseball.com. Guys, it's that time of year, Game 7 Baseball. Go to their website, get your team registered. All kinds of events coming up from Tennessee, there it is, to Kentucky, to Illinois, to Missouri. Great stuff. We're got our winter workout tour coming up with Game 7 Baseball. We're heading to Kansas City, then to Nashville, then back over to Lake of the Ozarks. We're going to be talking to a lot of clubs, a lot of folks. We're looking forward to it. We'll have the cameras out. Going to be fun. So make sure you get yourself registered, game7baseball.com. Today on the show, though, we're going to be talking some Missouri American Legion baseball. And we have Russ Klicker, who is the director at the Post 312 St. Charles American Legion Club. Russ, how you doing?
Doing good.
Good. Jake Walker is joining us. Jake played for the Metro, the first Metro League team, American Legion team that they started last year. Went to Oakville High School. You're still at Culver Stockton.
No, not anymore. I transferred to Mizzou to play for their club baseball team. That's currently where I'm at.
Killer.
Yeah, it's been great.
Yeah, Mizzou, huh?
Yeah, it's great.
How do you like it?
Oh, it's awesome.
It was a good football season, right?
Great football season. Ready, looking forward to the bowl game.
Yeah, right?
Well, oh, yeah.
That's going to be a tough one.
It's going to be tough, but we like challenges and complete people wrong. So
it's fun. We've had Brett Norfleet on the stage on our set here and talking baseball from Francis Howell, and he's tearing it up on the football field.
Oh, yeah, Francis Howell's powerhouse over there.
Right. They get it done.
So this area back here is basically production. They do a lot of the artwork back here. They do the production. So any of that stuff that comes in off of, let's say, our fanware stores, stuff that comes in off the team stores, a lot of the coaches wear, a lot of the last minute, hey, we got to have it in the next 10 minutes stuff. That's all comes back here. This area is where all the day-to-day stuff that comes in really goes through. The retail store is its own little entity. This is where the real work is done.
But today, guys, we're going to talk a little bit about American Legion baseball. And we're going to start, I want to start with you, Jake, because players are always the emphasis with American Legion baseball. Talk to us a little bit about your experience.
So I played all 4 years of high school for Post 162 Lime Legion.
Lime, really?
Yeah, I was on the Lime team, 3-time district champions for our team. Our sophomore year, my sophomore year in 2020 got canceled. But my JV season freshman year, we won our district, and then my junior and senior year, we won our varsity district champions. Didn't do so good in zones, didn't make it out of zones, but district champions for sure. So it was a great experience, and that's why I continued to play for it in college. So I got the opportunity and didn't miss it.
What district? Do you remember?
St. Louis County, but District 10.
It was District 10? Yeah. There you go. State chairman over there helping you out.
Yes, sir. Glad he's here.
District 10. That's a good district, too. There's a lot of good
that's
solid
the competition.
teams.
Eureka, Ballin, all those teams are really good.
It's not an easy one to get out of.
No, it wasn't, but we made it out every time. So,
talk to us a little bit, your coaches, and what did Legion baseball instill in you, and how you've taken those lessons into the next part of your life?
So as a family, with our head coach being my friend's dad, and then the other three coaches were, they're volunteers. So I was with them for 4 years, and all the lessons I learned from them, just took it into college with me, into the workspace and everything like that. Just they were growing us into young men from being boys from when we joined when we were 8th grade freshman year to all the way to college, and all of us are respectful and just playing the game the right way, valuing it.
Absolutely. Did your dad coach you a lot?
Oh yeah. He's the owner of the Diamond Stars in Arnold.
Is that right?
Off Old Lime Ferry Road down there, I think, and Richardson. Yep. And he taught me all the way up till 8th grade. So
I remember the Diamond Star. They still got teams down there.
Yeah, they still
yeah,
does.
Yeah.
Partnering up with the
Absolutely.
Fire. They're next door, so St. Louis Fire. So yeah, both those teams.
Killer, dude. I've been watching the Diamond Stars for a long time. You know, they played a lot of Game 7 tournaments and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's what I played in when I was growing up. That's how I know Dave Penny over there. So,
Yeah. That's cool stuff. I don't think we had the cameras out as much though at times. You know, we started. It's gotten a little bit better. Be fun because we take the cameras out to the tournaments, and we interview the kids. And I've had some 7-year-olds, 8-year-olds, 9-year-olds doing interviews with them. It's killer.
Oh, nice. Yeah, we didn't have anything like that, but I can imagine how great it is now.
It's fun.
Totally.
We get a lot of and we do trivia. It's amazing how much some of these kids know about baseball trivia. They got some history down, which is always good. I always think, you're playing ball. Do you know what come before you, right? Always a good thing. A little history lesson at times. So I think the trivia is fun. We give away baseball cards and stuff.
That's a lot of fun. Yeah, I was always quizzed growing up on history of baseball and stuff like that. So, got to keep it around.
Cardinal fan?
100%.
100%. Love it. So tell me, I got to ask this, Russ. What's going on with the Cardinals?
They try to blame it on Wilson Contreras because as our catcher, that happened too. Adam Wainwright should have retired a year earlier, and
He did get his 200th though.
he did get his 200. That was awesome. Happy that he got that, but wasn't a good year pitching wise.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
it's
I'm a
okay.
little suspect on the front office. I don't know where they're
Always
going.
has been. We need
don't
an ace right now. Sonny Gray was a good addition, I
Yeah,
feel
yeah.
like, and I'm not really sold on bringing back Lance Lynn or getting Kyle Gibson around, but definitely starts in our bullpen and our starting pitchers because we have the hitting and the fielders.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
got some young talent coming up in the infield and outfield. So
Russ, I want to throw it over to you. Last year, you guys fielded a team, put together a team for the Metro St. Louis Collegiate Baseball League. It's one of the premier summer leagues around here, probably in the country. What started you down that road? What was what set you in motion that way?
We've had a lot of players that have gone through that league. My son went through that league, so I'm very aware of the history and how what that league can provide to players like Jake and others. And it was actually an honor. They had lunch with us one day and said, "Hey, why don't you guys bring a team in?" And we jumped on it. We scrambled last year. Being first year, we didn't have quite all the building blocks in place, and we were in a better situation going into the second year. But we had a good year overall, and I think most of our players had contributed, did well. I think we did a little better than we started off. We started off 0-7, and I got a call from Marty Stein that runs the league, and I thought Marty's going to give me the axe right here, and he didn't. He was supportive. I mean, there were a lot of 1-2 run games at the beginning, but once we leveled off and got our feet under us and kind of figured things out, I think it changed, and we ended up playing okay. We finished under 500, but we still had a pretty good season, and we set some records. We did really good on the bases. Base running and stuff, we did real well.
So this is a foundational piece to the continuation of Missouri American Legion Baseball?
We needed it. We talked about this before on a previous podcast, but American Legion used to be it. I mean, when players got into high school, they went to Legion. And pro ball clubs would come down to our area in St. Louis here, like the Twins would come to Blanchette Park, and they wrote contracts to Legion players right there. But a lot's changed in the world, and Legion was a little slow to react, but we got our foot on the gas right now making changes. So what we're doing is we're starting kids earlier. We're sponsoring. We're trying to get a league going. We will get a league going by next year for the pre-high school guys. When they're in high school playing for us, we're working with Kevin Mulder and PBR, Prep Baseball Report, and so we're trying to get these kids ranked and help them get the visibility they deserve. And then we're also on the top end, we're doing a senior game at Busch Stadium, and that went over really well last year, and that actually creates a pipeline in some of those building blocks I was talking about to the next step, which is collegiate baseball. Most clubs are done with players when they turn 18. Like the 18U is about it for everybody. And we want to join the crowd that's helping them even further. And there's a few organizations that do that. We want to be one of them. We want to be the premier. We have a huge recruiting base. We've got, when we're working together, Illinois and Missouri works together, we're developing together like 3,000 ball players a year. So our graduating seniors, that class is getting close to 800 to 1,000 ball players. And we need to harvest those players and give them that opportunity, to go forward. And the seniors that are playing that game at Bush, they enter that pipeline too. So there's 40 plus players that are top of the line ball players from each state. They're also in part of that pipeline. So this year we'll be exercising that whole group, all of those.
Jake, let me ask you, you started off at Culver Stockton. You told me before the show you transferred to Mizzou. You're playing for one of the club teams there.
Yes.
What's that experience like? I think it's interesting when people think about, as Russ is talking about PBR and things of this nature. I like to make sure people understand there's a place to continue to play ball, isn't there?
Yes, 100%. That's what I tell a lot of guys, especially guys that started off like myself playing college baseball the first year and then deciding that it wasn't for them and wanted to go to like a bigger school, SEC type of school, but still wanting to not hang up the cleats and play baseball. So we do not have a like older coach per se, but we have coaches that do go to school there and they know a lot about baseball. We have 2 coaches and they don't actually play on the team, but they are students and they coach. And we have about 25 guys. We had about 45 come out this fall, and we have some traveling tournaments coming up. We're traveling down to Ole Miss and Nebraska, places like that during the school year on the weekends, and then we have some home tournaments getting played against other Division I schools at Columbia College nearby. That's our home field, so it's all great.
I know.
One thing I could add to that, and I think most people will find this surprising, that they don't follow baseball really close.
Right.
But the college club baseball stuff has really come on strong. Now they all fall under this National Club Baseball Association. They play a World Series.
Yeah.
Last year there was a player from Cal Poly that he was drafted in Major Leagues in the 8th round, and I think they sent over 20 total from clubs. So the clubs provide another
Absolutely.
path. It's a solid path for these guys to go forward.
Anthony Weiber, who is the athletic director, activities director at Fort Zumwalt West High School, he was my son's JV coach at East. He played club ball at Missouri State. He's an AD now. This is, there's so many paths that can help you in these things when you're talking about sports. What do you want to get into? What are you doing? How do you further your career? And how do these things help you in that fashion?
Yeah, totally. It's just, the fact that I get to keep playing baseball and staying around the game because, I could quit for 3 years and not play. And then after college, I realized that I want to be around the game still. So at least this way I can, stay with the game, keep playing, and, keep gathering information around the game of baseball and stuff like that. So.
Do you think about when you get done with school and you get back, whatever you're doing, do you think about coming back into the community, say at Lee May, whatnot, and coaching, helping these kids continue to improve their game?
100%. Just like my dad, he does baseball and he does baseball like that, and I would want to do that when I'm older too. I'm not sure if that would be my job or something I would do in my, the way I spend my free time with coaching baseball. I mean, it would definitely help if I had a son and stuff like that, like everybody else does, but I'll definitely never leave the game of baseball. It's something that I'm going to be around my whole life.
We all grew up playing sports. I played soccer, I played baseball, I played football, basketball, loved it. And I played soccer, a lot of soccer. The first sport I ever coached was soccer. I was done playing, I destroyed my ankle. Because I was working my way through college. It was at a JC. I was getting ready to play that year, messed up my ankle in a pickup game.
Yeah, it'll happen. Basketball?
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. Basketball's a lot of way.
Right? Bummer City, like, wow. But, so I'm looking at this. I'm 21. I show up at the AYSO, which is out in the West Coast, and I said, do you guys need coaches? And the lady looks up at me and she says, well, what age is your son? I'm like, I'm not married. I don't even have kids.
Yeah.
You know, it was one of those faces. And I said, I just like to coach. I want to
Coach, yeah.
And I had a 4 and 5 year olds. Enjoyed the heck out of that. That really, it was so much fun coaching that team as a kid, and you learn a lot from it. Because I wrote a college paper based on my coaching experience there, and just the whole aspect of it, I think, is so interesting. Would you agree?
I would. It's real interesting. You know, this St. Louis Metro Collegiate Baseball League and our team in that league and Jake's participation in it is so important to our overall program.
Right.
I just like to point out a couple things. That league was started in '79 by a group of pro scouts, college coaches, and professional ball players. And the intent was to create a local league where you could sleep in your own bed at night. You didn't have to hit the road and ride bus trips all over the place, you know, play the game. So it kind of strikes a really good balance of games you play, the rigors of it, but it's not too rigorous where it's going to burn people out and do all that stuff. 400 players have gone from our league to Major League Baseball, to the pros, 25 to MLB. And I think we've got 4 or 5 in there right now. You got Jake Berger, hit 34 home runs last year. He's playing third base down at Miami now. Mm-hmm. And then you've got, I think it's Jeff Hartley pitching for the Rockies, and you've got, I'm trying to remember all of them now, but I think then you've also got Drew, what's his last name? Mills. He's a catcher for the, where's he at now? For the Nationals. Yeah. So, I mean, so we've got current ball players out there. We're launching ball players. We attract the scouts. The scouts come periodically to our games throughout the summer. But then when we get to the All-Star game, then they're there. I mean, and I physically talk to them. I know they're there. It's not just, you know, hypothetical stuff. I mean, they've been behind this league for a long time, since 1979. That's good stuff. And I appreciate players like Jake that come in that love the game. They're smart ball players. They can play ball. There isn't a game that goes by without seeing some kind of good play. I mean, every game you're amazed at something. There's a lot of talent out there on our team and throughout the league. It's fun. It's fun to watch. I mean, come on out. I mean, I tell anybody who lives in St. Louis area, you want to see good baseball around this area, come on out. There's no gate, no parking charges or anything like that. Good baseball.
Absolutely. And Russ, when you're talking about Missouri American Legion baseball, and you're fundamentally helping these kids, they've gone to their first year of college, right? They're coming back. Some of the kids, though, can choose to play with their team still, correct? Age-wise, depending upon their age, correct?
Are you talking about if they were playing for a
They've
collegiate
gone to
team?
college, right?
They
The
can.
first year.
They certainly can, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. You know what's interesting is one of the first, actually the first call I got this year was very early. It was over a month ago. I got a call from a left-handed pitcher from Cornell, D1, wanting to get his name on our roster. Very first one. And we're rostering right now pacing ahead of last year, which is good. So this whole thing helps American Legion.
Absolutely.
And American Legion baseball for 100 years now has always stood for quality baseball and at an economical price. I mean, we do what we can to keep the fees low for everybody. We don't have bricks and mortar. We don't have all that. But I can assure you that we're providing everything those clubs are providing right now. So it's a decision for players, and we try to make that decision a good one. We try to give them a good option for this.
Well, opportunity, and I think this is, you know, Jake, you can speak to this. You played in district championship games, won them. You know, you've seen a lot of baseball. There's not much different. It's still going out on the field and competing, isn't it?
100%, yeah. Just getting out in the field is getting out in the field. I mean, it's a situation you put yourself in. That's at the plate, pitching, in the field, and just anything can happen, and there's always big plays to be made.
Pitcher?
Both.
Both?
Yeah, starting pitcher one time out of the week, and the other days I'm either DHing or playing third base, sometimes shortstop. So.
Are you raking?
I tend to rake, yeah. I can hit. Yeah.
He
I can
brings
swing the
a
bat.
solid bat, I can tell you. You don't ever have to worry about where to put Jake, get him in the lineup, and you're going to have a good day.
Just get me in there and I'll produce. So
I love the
plan.
confidence. I love the confidence. Because, let's talk about, American Legion Baseball, when you're playing in a season and then you've gone to school, you come back. What was that like for you and the opportunity? How did that help you coming back after your first year and getting in that league?
it's really exciting. And this time last year, I feel like we were just finding out about the team, and now we're filling a roster at this year. But last year was tough for me because I got redshirted my freshman year at my school. I didn't play, and I kind of just had to work on my own, obviously practices and stuff, but I didn't get the opportunities to play on the field like I thought I was going to. And then I came back home, didn't have any game experience the whole school year, like I had 10-2 in high school and youth baseball and stuff. Going into in high school, I would play 30 games and then I'd be ready to go play for the summer and still be hot from the season. But this year I came in cold, and it was kind of tough. The first 7 games that we lost were tough for us, but we bounced back and we had a productive season, more than we thought. So
Yeah, these guys had a great attitude. I can tell you our whole line, 24-man roster, all players brought great attitudes, and they brought knowledge of the game, and it's a whole different level of baseball. And it's fun to coach them. It's fun to watch them.
And Russ, talk to us about who you had. You had a couple of guys from McKendree. Mm-hmm. I know at least one. You had one McKendree coach there working with these kids as well, correct?
Yeah, there's some really well-known coaches in this program and within the Metro League, and former Cardinal ball players, national champs, stuff like that. So what we tried to do is we went out, and I reached out to McKendree. I actually went out through the ABCA, the American Baseball Coaches Association, and put a job app out there to pull in a coach. We wanted somebody higher level expertise, experience, somebody that knew the ins and outs, might have connections, and
Especially
could help
on that
mentor the
collegiate
kids.
level, right?
Yeah, these guys need more than just a coach that's going to stand at third base and wave them around the bases. They need somebody that understands baseball. They need somebody that understands the system. They need somebody that understands the coaches and the college coaches, the recruiters, and all that stuff, and can mentor the kids. And that's what they need. So last year we had Logan Moose from McKendree, who was our pitching coach, a driveline instructor, and all that. He did a great job. We love Logan, but he can't do it again this year. We're looking to, again, we're back out. I've been collecting resumes now for over a month, and we went out with the ABCA again this year.
So if you're watching and you want to,
Yeah, if you're a former, I mean, the chinning bar's high.
understand what you mean.
The
I
chinning bar's
understand.
high, and we've had lunches with our D1 coaches,
Sure.
and they're on board. I mean, I can tell you out here in St. Charles, they're trying to help us with this because
That's awesome.
this is good for their players. It's a good outlet for their players.
anytime you can create opportunities, that's the point, right? This is what it's all about. Nobody guarantees you anything. There's no guarantees to anything. All you need, all you want, and all you should want is an opportunity, right?
for sure, yeah, we just need an opportunity. You got to take advantage of it, or it can just slip away.
Yeah.
I mean, Mizzou, all you got to do is look at Mizzou football and look at Schroeder, right?
Schrader.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
Schrader,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Truman
You look
State,
at that.
Truman State.
And how many
Leader of the
stories like that
SEC.
are out there in pro sports?
There's quite a few of them, Russ.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It takes work. You can't sleep on that. You got to go work. People, and I think that's the difference in you see these kids. You got 45 guys, you said, coming out for this club team, right?
Yeah.
There ain't no spots guaranteed. There's
No,
only
there's
9
a lot of
dudes playing,
experience.
right?
A lot of people we have a lot of Merrimack guys, St. Charles JUCO guys that decided not to go to the next level of college baseball and come to Mizzou and still want to play baseball. We had guys from Quincy. We have, people like me from NAIA and people like that, just division baseball players and JUCO guys that wanted to come here. And there's a lot of talent on our team, and we're gonna have a great season. And nothing's guaranteed, no spots or starting rotation or anything. We're just going out there and putting the foot in the gas.
And I think that's an interesting thing, too, because, Russ, we need guys coming back into the community with baseball experience. Guys like that can come back in and contribute as coaches in these lower levels, right?
That's right. That's correct. Yeah.
Because you've got how many teams in your club? You got to have coaches for the A, Double A, the freshman, the junior, the senior teams. And then if we're looking at, lower levels, is there a dad? Is there somebody there? That's a lot of folks, and putting their time in and effort. They got to want to do that, right?
Yeah, so the way we approach it, because it's hard to really staff. It's hard to staff from like 12, 13U ball teams. It's hard to staff coaches that are experienced at that level. So it becomes a progressive thing. So they're on a learning curve all the way up until they get to where Jake's at. They're on this learning curve, and even where Jake is, there's still a learning curve.
Yeah.
So what we try to do is progressively find coaches that fit those levels. And I'll tell you, at our post, like a lot of the Legion posts anymore, we're paying a head coach from that's an UMSL, a Hall of Famer, William Shanks, and he played in the Blue Jays organization for 4 years, I think. So that's going to be pretty commonplace anymore. But there's only so many of those guys around, Yeah,
they're not coming knocking on the door. You
they
gotta
don't
find
knock
guys
on the
like that
door.
usually.
Yeah, and people got to earn a living. So if they're too young, they're working. It's all. So there's a lot of obstacles there. But we got to find those guys, and they're drawn to American Legion baseball because of the foundation that we're on. I mean, the things that we do sets us apart.
And I want to, because this will be coming up. I don't know if it'll be coinciding. We got it coming up as well. It might already be being played. I'd have to look at my schedule. But we had Brad Bickle, St. Charles High School head coach. We do our GAC previews. We're recording those. Those are going to come up. It's probably going to be, I think it's in January. So that one's coming up. But we talked to Brad about American Legion, and you're building that relationship with him, and he's got guys playing Legion ball and coming back, and I think that's a great relationship with the high schools as well. Correct?
Yeah. I mean, the problem you run into is like in our St. Charles area, there's 52 different clubs.
Right.
And these
it's few.
And these 52, I mean, I've counted them. I've gone through and counted them, wrote them down, studied them. A lot of them have more than one high school team. Now, there's only so many high schools.
Yes,
so they're all
is.
going in trying to get these ball
That's right.
players. And they're all motivated by a variety of things to do this. So it is, but the Legions always maintain a pretty good relationship with our high school coaches and our college coaches. And that's important because as these kids move up, as Jake and these guys move up, those coaches have to trust you. That you're not going to tear up arms or ruin players or teach them bad habits or whatever, So you got a lot of responsibility.
I love that point. And Jake, you can, I'm sure, speak to this as a pitcher, arm care, right?
It's the biggest thing, yes.
And we just did a dad coaches clinic for dads coaching from 7 to 14 with some of the best with is Coach Perkins, Coach Horn, Coach Canavan, Kevin Mulder, Darren Sissel, all these coaches from these schools. Mm-hmm. And the biggest thing they want to promote, arm care. How do you take care of the kids, not overthrowing them? And I think that's the trust that's got to be built in, right?
Yeah, for sure. I wasn't a big arm care guy up until high school. I wouldn't really think about it. I didn't start pitching until my freshman year of high school. That was my first year pitching ever, and because my arm was never
That's probably
strong
not
enough.
a bad thing, right?
No, it wasn't, because when I got to my junior year, senior year of high school, I could go and throw 100 pitches and then the next day play third base and be totally fine. And that's just me. Not everybody's like that. People have been throwing since they're, fifth, sixth grade, but I never used the bands. I never did the heavy ball work or anything like that until I got to high school because I wasn't a pitcher. But, that's just the most important thing. And now looking back on it, I think that I did that because I'm still able to pitch now and don't have any arm problems, knock on wood. But, it's very important for sure.
Amen to that.
Yeah, and senior level American Legion baseball, they play all the way through state level, regionals. They go to a World Series in Shelby, North Carolina every year.
Yes,
the winners of that are invited on the field to be recognized
at the World Series.
At the World Series, at the MLB World Series. So it's a big deal. The teams that are the most successful, and I'll cite like Idaho. Okay, Abe Abramson has come through, and we've benchmarked him, see what he does. He gets Gonzaga ball players. Now, there's some trust that they've built up there. Because you can play American Legion baseball at the senior level until you turn 20. Right. So they're getting those players, and you have to build that trust up. So to build that trust up, you got to prove you're worthy. You got to prove you're knowledgeable.
And that's another point too, Russ, because we made that. Kids can come back and play up to their 20s. So What is the difference here? If you're talking to a young man who's played his first year in college, he's still age eligible. What's that conversation like, Russ? Where does he go play? How do you deal with that?
It's really hard once kids graduate in our area. It's different,
Sure.
different in different areas. But in our area, once players graduate, they change their mind to looking at college, and they look at the world a little differently. So it's hard to recruit those guys. I think states like Idaho do a much better job of it. Well, I'll tell you what, Washington down here in our state is got a good program. They're able to get some of those players.
Okay.
You got to have something to offer them, though.
No. I'm sorry. Maybe I didn't phrase the question. I'm talking about when the kid has gone to college and he's coming back and he still has a year of eligibility for his club team, but there's the Metro Club team. How do you help them make that decision and choice between those two?
Well, I mean, the biggest selling point for the Metro Collegiate League, well, there's 2 or 3 really, but the big ones are the quality of play, the exposure that they're going to get in front of college recruiters and major league scouts is hard to beat.
I agree.
I mean,
I agree.
you can join a league and get on a bus 3 days a week and travel all over and play 60 games and get burned out and do all that. This league was designed by these college coaches, pro scouts, and people in this area just for this reason, to fulfill that niche.
And then you got, say, like Kent Getzy on the other side. He gets one of his kids back and he wants to make another run. Well, that's a tough thing, right?
So that's what I was talking about earlier. I mean, they can, because if a team wants to make it to the World Series, they need those 19-year-olds. They need those first-year college guys. So we've got an agreement. We're not going to take them.
Oh, really?
So this is at the heart of this. We're not going to compete with the Post and try to take their 19-year-old ball players that they've worked so hard to keep in their program.
That's a fair thing.
Yeah.
I think that's a fair thing.
Yeah. And you know what? Numbers-wise, there's enough other players out there. Right. I mean, it doesn't hurt us at all. Right. I mean, there's good, talented people. We'd love to have them move up.
Sure.
But they can move up the following year.
I was one of those guys last year that I had my birthday being in like April. I could have gone back and played as last year as a freshman in college, going back and played Legion ball at the high school level again. But I think it really just depends where you're at, like competition level. Like I knew before I even was like my senior year, I knew that once I hit college, I want to go play in the college league, and there would be no reason for me to come back. Also, nothing left for me too. My team did fold, and we started a new team too, but still, I wouldn't. There's no reason for me to go back to the youth level for high school and do that. It would have to be college.
That's a
me,
fair, and
it could be different for a lot of people.
Right.
Like I knew personally for me, I wouldn't need to do that or want to do that, but because to give those guys an opportunity at a young age, like freshmen, sophomores coming into the high school program, that's what they're fighting for, and now I'm fighting for a different thing for college now.
Yeah, but
I like that.
my interests are across the board. They span that whole spectrum.
Right.
I want Legion baseball to be back in the place where it was 20, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Because it can get there. It just has to adapt to the modern methods and technologies and all the social media stuff and all that. But once we get there, so I would love to see D1 pitchers that need a little extra work go play for Kent Getzy and go to the World Series. I'd love to see that.
Yeah.
I'd love to see that
Understand.
just as much as I want to see our collegiate team, our Legion collegiate team in the Metro St. Louis Collegiate Baseball League. As much as I'd like to see that win the league next year.
Right.
The other thing was, and I don't think I covered this, but that league has also won a National World Series 3 times with the I think it's the National Amateur Baseball Federation, NABF. They do all different levels. They play them all over the country. They
Because
won
there's
that.
a lot of different World Series around.
Yeah, so I think up until COVID, we were sending teams. I mean, we would put teams together like the All-Star teams, the All-Star players and stuff like that and go play that. They won that 3 times and runner-up at least 3 times.
There's also the NBC World Series, the National Baseball Congress World Series, and that was, I think it's still in Wichita, isn't it?
I think it is.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's all kinds of things like that.
So baseball doesn't have to end at high school.
No, it doesn't.
And the players that recognize that and want to continue on, we want to have a good program for them. So that's why we were just elated when they asked us to join that league.
And-
it's a good league. It's one of the best. Like you said, it's a premier league in this area.
Yeah.
The other leagues, all I would ask people to do, like Jake, if you're a player and you're looking for a collegiate summer league, go out there and look at who's on their board of directors, board of advisors. I mean, who do they have? Like, we've got Ozzie Smith.
Yeah.
He's the chairman. He's the honorary chairman. He's not a hands-off guy at the All-Star
No,
game.
he
He's
was
out
there.
on the
Yeah.
field. You were there.
He walked
Yes.
right into our dugout,
Yeah.
shook everybody's hands. It was a great experience.
That's cool.
You don't see
Yeah.
that. You
Didn't
don't
expect
see
him to
that.
do it either,
One,
but
one
You got
of
a
the,
chance
one
to
of the
talk to
best,
him,
one of the
so
best
it was fun.
shortstops
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
that ever played the game.
Yes. And to Russ, I go back to last year. We went to Sedalia. I worked with St. Louis Sports Productions. We called the games. We did them live. 6 teams playing for the state championship, AAA. Let's see if I can get them all. Oak Grove, I know that, 379. Hey, look at that. Come on, Tom. Tom's over there making sure. Sedalia, post 642. Jackson, 158. Okay, hang on now. I got Washington's 218. You had Pacific, which is 320. And the last one, hang on. I did Jackson. Festus, 253. Boom, baby.
Yeah.
There you go.
Listen, all of those teams had dudes. All of them had dudes. I'm not talking, this was high-level baseball. The games were close. It was a really good baseball tournament. The one game between Washington and Sedalia on that nightcap was a pitching duel that was it was a 1-0. Both I felt so bad for Connor Line, the Sedalia pitcher. He pitched a complete game and lost 1-0. I mean, that's a tough one. That's just tough, but that's baseball, right? That's real. That's baseball right there. Yeah. And so you have a lot of these players, and that's what I'm saying. A lot of these kids, that's what you're looking at, and they have that next step.
Yeah.
As they move on, right?
And Connor was one of the senior all-stars that played at
Absolutely.
Bush or made that team.
Yep.
Anyway, so yeah, that's our pipeline.
Right.
I mean, we've got a natural pipeline there.
Yeah, and that's some talented ball players right there. I mean, you got kids going to junior college. You got there was some Division II kids. Tyler Bizzle from Festus is at Missouri S&T.
Another one, yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And Nate Moore's over at Jefferson College. He's at Jeffco.
Yeah.
I loved the kid. I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing him. I loved Josh Hagel from Sedalia, the shortstop there. And I'm making this watching the high school because he plays at Knob Noster High School.
Yeah.
And so I'm making a point to kind of pay attention because he's a tremendous ball player.
Oh, yeah. And you're only talking about the Missouri players. You can
Yeah,
double it.
I know.
Because
I know.
the collegiate team's pulling in from Illinois.
You're pulling
and-
Illinois, yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And Illinois had a good squad on the field over there for the All-Star game.
Oh, yeah.
That was some
The
dudes.
players from Alton and over there at Aveston and yeah.
Absolutely. So I love this thought process, Russ. I think it's advantageous and it does give a little more, I think, just credence or validity to what you guys are doing and building that into that next step.
Yeah, and we take on that responsibility.
Yeah.
I feel responsible to help Jake and all the players as much as we can. And every year we get a little bit smarter in what we can do to help them because this landscape's continually changing.
Yeah.
And we got to stay up with it, up with everything. But to get to know the players, to understand what they need developmentally, what they need exposure-wise and all that's important to bring them on board to plan out the season, plan out our games. Now, last year, we were play 5 or 6 games a week. Okay, that's grueling. I mean, you cannot play in that league, in the St. Louis Metro Collegiate Baseball League. You can't play in it if you don't have heart for baseball. It's not going to work.
I always think of, I think it was Satchel Paige said, don't turn and look backwards. They might be passing you.
Yeah.
So,
especially in this league, 5-6 days a week wasn't easy. All hands on deck. People are coming back, throwing Monday, coming back on Saturday if they have to, a couple innings if they can. And it was just, I know first time I talked to Russ for practice, I know that he's on the same page as me. And I brought in some guys from, my Legion team from high school that, didn't fade out with baseball. They wanted to keep playing in college, and, he recruited, the rest of the roster. And,
Yeah.
This year's going to be different. So, really
Yeah,
excited for that.
because we're off to a much better start recruiting-wise.
A lot earlier.
And
Yeah, a lot
hear
of better recruiting,
to have a player, he played for Webster Groves, have a left-handed pitcher, want to sign up for the D1 pitcher from Cornell.
Need some lefties.
Yeah.
Gotta have
Always
those
need some
lefties.
lefties.
This
pitching,
is
for sure.
anecdotal, but I want to throw this in there. We had some injuries at the end of the year.
Yeah, I remember
years,
that.
we had a player, Ethan Bright from Ellsbury, broke his wrist. He got tied up with a big guy that committed to the University of Tennessee, big guy at first base, and he gave up a lot of weight. So he came out on the losing end of this.
Who was committed to the
combination.
University of Tennessee?
That player wasn't on our team.
I know, what team was it?
Was it? Trying to remember now which the big guy that played first base.
I know what you're talking about.
What
Yeah.
team is that?
Is it the Extreme?
The RBC?
It might have been the Extreme.
I feel like that was what it was.
Yeah, I think it might. But I could be wrong. I don't remember what team.
That
what
Extreme
he playing
team
with,
was
but-
good.
They're a
but,
real solid team, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but just anecdotally, I brought some players over from these other leagues to play and fill in. They could not hit the pitching in the Metro League.
That is a fact.
And
That is
these
a fact.
guys and
Hate
one
to
of
say
the
it, but
and
happened.
they were stats leaders in these other leagues, offensive stats, home run leaders, and stuff like
I
that.
never
They couldn't connect.
I never put too much stock in some of those things because you
And it's a
trade
new
over, you come
environment,
over, new
you know.
environment. It
You-
does.
yeah,
and
you're the
you
new
might
kid in
have
the
a guy
dugout,
that
yeah.
you might have a guy that just goes and goes off.
Yeah,
And
that's true. And
it's tough.
And 2 weeks isn't a good.
That doesn't
measure.
mean no.
That's
and
what I'm
that
saying.
doesn't mean you're
just
not
anecdotally.
right.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. No, the Metro League is a good league. That's just, and I think that's just period. It really is.
Yeah.
I came out the one game. Who was on the mound when you guys were playing RBC when I came out there? Do you remember, Russ?
I don't. Cannon Walker maybe.
What's RBC?
Recruits. Baseball.
Oh, the recruits?
Yeah.
I pitched against them. Where were we at? I know Cannon pitched against them.
It was at Mobap
Yeah, it might have been Jake. Yeah,
thought-
might have been Jake. Yeah.
because
I
I
played
think
the
it was-
Athletics there,
Yeah.
too.
Yes. So all those teams we played
you
them
went
all.
deep in the game.
I went 7 innings against the Athletics. I'm not sure about.
No, this was RBC, so I can't remember who it was.
Yeah.
No offense. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
No, it's been a minute. I'm not sure, but I did go deep in a lot of games pitching wise.
Yeah.
I went 8 with the Bandits in extra
Yeah.
innings and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But
That's good.
Yeah, I mean Rick Fiala and these other coaches.
Oh, yeah.
I mean they put out a tough product.
Absolutely.
You know.
Well, the
And
All-Star
I'll
game
tell you
was
that
fun.
the All-Star game was a great time. A
We
lot
had
of
our
talent
wins
there.
against all of those.
Yeah.
I mean, we had our moments. You
Yeah,
know.
moments.
But we
Absolutely.
just couldn't keep the flame going as bright as we wanted to.
Well, a lot of
You
games,
know,
a lot of games
we
slipped
had
away
a
from
spark.
us.
We had
A lot
some
of games slipped
sparks,
away
but
from
you
us,
know,
too. A lot of
yeah.
one-run games, a lot of bottom 7th games, stuff like that. Really slipped away from us. But I feel like this year's we're going to win those games this year. So
There you go. Love that.
Yeah.
Well, Jake, please stay in touch with us, man. I'd love to see what's going on over at the
sure.
club scene there at Mizzou. That's
Yeah.
that's cool.
we started
that
first
would
week
be killer.
first week of February we start, and we're done in May. So we got a good long season. So
Sweet.
about 2 tournaments a month, I feel like, maybe 3. But we're traveling, and I'll definitely keep you updated.
Maybe we just bring you in. We have the ability to video people into from different areas. So maybe we get you on the
Yeah,
show.
Zoom
come
on the
in,
computer.
Yeah,
Yeah. That'd
be
absolutely.
great, yeah.
Be
That'd
fun.
be great. Yeah, for sure.
Be fun.
That'll be fun.
Russ,
Definitely see you this
He's
summer.
a really good guy.
We'll see you this summer
know.
for sure. Yeah,
oh,
it'll
yeah.
be a great summer.
Yeah, we'll be out. Russ, thanks.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, Jake.
Jake,
Thanks for
you,
having
too.
us on. That was great. Yeah, I'm really
appreciate it,
excited.
buddy.
Yeah, you too,
Hey
bro.
guys, if you like what we're doing, please take a moment, hit the subscribe button down there. We appreciate it if you haven't done that yet. Get you you're going to see all these. And then right next to it, though, is the dinger. Because that's what we do, right?
Turn on the post notifications too. It's another big one. Turn
That's
those
it.
on.
That's the dinger. We
Yeah.
call
Yeah.
it dingers, baby.
Oh,
Because
okay,
the dinger
yeah.
for days,
That is a
chicks
dinger.
dig the long ball. If you
Can't
get the
deny that.
dinger, you get all your notifications for upcoming episodes. You like
Smash that
that?
button. I love that. Yeah, it's great.
Hey,
we get some merchandise for that. Put that on a T-shirt.
Talking about
Hey.
dingers. Real
We hit
quick,
dingers.
I can't let
We
you
hit
shut it
dingers.
off. Too cool. Luke Parman's here. Man, he hit some long balls
Yeah.
for us.
Is that right?
And
He's a great guy.
we had several that
So
contributed.
he's your dinger guy.
But he was our
He's a
dinger
dinger
guy.
guy.
Yeah.
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 He's a dinger guy. We had RBI guys. We had stolen base guys. We had
Yeah.
batting average guys. We had all that. But
Yeah, we definitely have our merch store, dude. You can go
Yeah.
onto our website and
get some merch.
we hit dingers.
Yeah, it's fire.
These guys would reach first base. We'd congratulate them for getting to first base, tell them how many outs there are. You got runners ahead of you, no runners, whatever. And then we'd tell them what the pitcher's doing, wait for a breaking ball pitch, and then go. First pitch, boom, second base. I'll tell you, you couldn't stop these guys. You had to tie a piano onto them.
That
Yeah,
was
'cause
one
you
thing.
guys
we
were
had.
leading the league in stolen
we
bases.
said-
right?
Stolen
I believe we
bases
set a
were our
record.
thing. Yep.
Yeah.
That was our
Good
thing.
stuff. Anyway, thanks, folks. We do so. Do that. That gets you all your notifications. Please, we appreciate all you pitchers. Got some advice for pitchers?
Take care of your arm and throw gas.
I love it.
Work on your breaking pitches.
There you go.
It's
Hitters.
important.
Yeah.
Advice for hitters, Russ.
Well, I'm telling you, two-strike approach. I'm a two-strike approach guy.
I love that.
But don't shortchange yourself on the 2 cuts you get. First, hit the ball hard.
That's all. That's good advice, folks.
Don't be afraid to swing on the first pitch.
There you go.
Yeah.
Good
Be ready.
advice.
Be
It's
ready
always
to
there.
hit every.
Be ready to
pitch.
pitch.
Yeah.
Be ready to hit and pitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see y'all next time.